All right, guys. We're going to be talking about reaching the 2 decision makers and who you have to get to right now. I'm going to get the handouts. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get your handouts. 1 second.
You want the winnable?
Yeah, the winnable opportunity matrix. I'm going to hand that out. 1 second. I got to grab this from. Where is this coming from? Give me 1 second. Hey, talk about what's happening that you see in the marketplace. Brian Hebels Brian, you there? Where'd he go?
Yeah, I'm just eating, and I didn't want.
He's just eating.
He's stuffing his face.
He's stuffing his face.
Put your spoon down.
Bon appetit. Bon appetit.
Enjoy, my friend.
I love it. Hang on 1 second, guys.
Well,
this
Brian's
is my fault.
Dave, first things first. Come on. Let this man celebrate his birthday.
Yeah, wild blueberries from Maine. What can I say?
Right.
You know?
So it's whose birthday is it?
Brian, right?
No, Sally.
Sally.
Oh, it's Sally's birthday. Hey, Sally.
Oh, Sally.
Happy birthday.
There's nowhere I'd rather be than with all of you.
Oh,
big
what
hug
it
from
is.
Miami.
Thank you.
All right.
So put your information.
I got it. I finally got what I was looking for, guys. My apologies. Here we go.
We're all rodeo clowns for Dave when the bull's coming, as he's trying to get his rodeo act together. So I think he's got it.
I'm telling you. All right. I'm going to get my.
Omaha, Nebraska. Go Mark Hobson. Scott Poole. Charleston, South Carolina. Love Charleston.
Who's the farthest away? That's
Omaha.
Omaha. Nebraska.
Welcome, Debbie Kissinger, Jay Talbot, Gilbert, Arizona.
Hey,
I was going to say North Havana, but.
Oh my gosh!
All right, I finally did it. I got the handouts out there. Do me a favor, if everybody could click on that for me, that top link, and let me know that you get to this bad boy right here.
Let's see. Where are we?
I haven't updated the quick reference sheet yet, but I will, so you guys can download that later. Quick disclaimer, this event is not organized or endorsed or any way done by the government. You hear me, Rafa?
So it's done right?
Oh, boy. It's going to be a hot one today. It's going to be a hot one today. So, we will, and if you're from the government, we love you. And it's not an indication to buy from anybody here. We are recording the session, and we do want to know. Let's get to know each other a little bit. Are you brand spanking new? Have you been around for 20 plus years? And do you have any business with the federal government with grants or contracts? Or maybe you're sub or teaming with a partner. And if you've ever been here before, we always love that. So welcome back if you have. I'm going to talk about ISI Federal real quick. That's my company. I started in 2009, and we've been doing market intelligence and marketing for many, 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 many years. We're going to be concentrating on some of these people today. We have 132,000 program people that are in the decision-making seat. 70,000. It may not be 70,000 anymore. We don't know exactly how many, because some people, Brian Hebel, some people took the fork in the road, right?
Yeah, we loved it. So did Raphael.
Yeah.
Both ex-Govies.
Yep.
Some people took the fork, and some people got forked.
Oh, wow.
I know a bunch in HHS that got forked.
I know you do. So today we will be shamelessly plugging GovBrief today because of something that happened last week and something that's happening this week. We want to show you what's happening. Ultimately, we want to help you book sales. We've helped book over $30 billion in sales with the products and services that we do. I don't know about you, but that's a pretty big number. We are transitioning Sam Radar to Fed 360. If you're a Sam Radar member, you know this. If you are not a Sam Radar member, you better get to be one so that you can get Fed 360 locked in at the right price. I don't know. Is Rob here? Did I see Rob? I don't know if
Roberto.
I don't know if Rob's here. So we have 2 hot seat questions today. Who are program people and what do they need from you? And who are procurement people and what do they need from you? So those are the 2. Those are softballs. But you will find out, and there's a bonus of how you can use Sam Radar to help, or GovBrief for that matter, because that's what we're talking about today. You will find these in your chat. You can download this this report. It's the year-to-date report as of the 1st of July. So it shows you exactly what's happened, and we'll talk a little bit about that at a high level. If you'd like to know more about that, we'll make sure that you get information on that so that Rob can give you a review. If you have any questions, please raise your hand, pop it in the Q&A or pop it in the chat. We'll do our best to be able to pay attention to that. We love the feedback. And what we're going to do today is we're going to connect you with experts, and we'll talk about what works. Because there's a lot of things that don't work. Am I right, Rafa?
Many things don't work.
There's some folks down in Tampa, St. Pete that do things that don't work.
Yeah, big bowl of wrong. Google that term; they come up.
they come up a lot. So we do want to talk, but we don't, and we do shameless plugs for sponsors as well as the partners that you see here. And we do this because we can't do this alone. I couldn't do it alone. You can't do it alone. Thumbs up if you can get to the session docs for me. Everybody get to that?
Thumbs up. Let me give you the thumbs up. Give me 1 second.
Somebody better. So did everybody get that? Let me click it. I'll pop that in again. So that top link right there is what's going to take. Okay, good deal. We got it. All right. We got some big FedCon news, including Todd Crane's in the house.
I'm here.
On location.
Yeah.
On location. We'll talk about where you are. So you're up in a minute, Todd. First things first, Brian Hebel, stop eating, pay attention. The 8A is being dismantled and redefined. And you happen to have written a book way back in the day talking about marketing and selling to the U.S. government. And you tell everybody to do what with that book on Amazon?
Well, buy it. It'll still help. It'll still have people talk about my book, right? Four ways how to reach out to the government. We're going to talk about that today, right? Particularly Raphael, the program managers. Yep. David, it's 11:09 and you haven't picked on me yet, being an ex-contracting officer. I'm feeling insulted.
It's still early. It's still early.
He's getting soft. He's getting soft.
I'm derelict in my duties. Well, I will definitely do that. But today, or not today, tomorrow, because it was supposed to be last Friday, we had to reschedule it. And what is happening with 8As right now and the 8A program?
Well, I mean, it's probably, I've been doing this for almost 40 years now, and it's probably some of the biggest news other than the revolutionary FAR overhaul, I'll say, in terms of how they're changing the program for people that are in it and changing the program for people that want to get in it. And it's pretty much opened the door that it's not based on race anymore to get into the program, and we'll have in the training tomorrow. We'll go through there. But if you've been a disadvantaged individual, and they have some criteria that the SBA has put out now, it's in the Federal Register notice, and it's eventually going to be there. They just closed comments on it on the 10th. But it's changing who can apply and who's in it, and they're terminating 20% of the people in the 8A program are pretty much done from at least the news that's out. So lots going on there, and the RAFO, not Raphael, but the federal FAR overhaul has actually changed how contracting officers like me buy. And the 8A program is not necessarily going to be one of those ways if it's a sole source. Well, I shouldn't say not one of those ways. Contracting officers have to jump through a couple steps to do that. So we're going to talk about all this stuff tomorrow. And then we're going to have a spreadsheet on all the expiring 8As that are left in 26 plus fiscal year 27. It's about 10,000 of them. 10,120 to be exact.
10,120 to be exact. And I'm going to pop up where they can find that on GovBrief. If you want to pop in the link for the Eventbrite, you can do either way. Here's the 8A session here.
I'll pop that in there. It might take me a minute. I'm not that quick.
All right. If you want to get to it from GovBrief, you can get to it from there as well. And I'll tell you what. There's a lot of craziness that's happening. You mentioned new fraud changes. A lot of that's happened starting on October 1st, but they're still being rolled out and still things bubbling up, aren't there, Brian?
Yeah. Well, some of when it comes to the FAR overhaul, They are actually posted in the Federal Register, and are kind of getting to the point of codifying. I think it was about 15 sections altogether, some of the easier sections, but I'm kind of waiting for the ball to drop on some sections like FAR Part 15, which is about just really about negotiated contracts, and even FAR Part 42 when it comes to CPARs. And so, some of those sections still yet to be determined what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's happening. And there's new executive orders that just dropped. This is in the last month since we've been here. We have agriculture that landed. So if you're in the agriculture business, that's good for you. Quantum innovation, if you understand what those words mean, you're smarter than me, because I have no idea what that means. But this one right here, securing the nation against advanced cryptographic attacks. Sorry, I can't see the screen like I usually do. And I think that applies right into some of the CMMC things that are happening. And we just had this happen yesterday. Tell us about this, Todd Crane, who is on location. Where are you now?
I'm actually at a security conference here in Dallas, but it's funny because we had a lot of us here are doing CMMC, and you could just hear audible gasps as people heard the news. Right? It was that and some cursing as well. But but there was once the dust settled, I think we all had some pretty interesting reactions. But once the dust settled, the one thing that became clear is this is a whole lot of hoopla about nothing, right? All three DoD CIOs that have served since CMMC came out or was originally announced have put a statement out saying all three of them have temporarily paused CMMC to take stock and to reevaluate, and then it eventually goes forward. We have a new DoD CIO, I believe, as of March of this year, and that is all that they're doing. It's going to happen. Are there going to be changes? Yes, but there were going to be changes as of last week too, right? We had the Brian can expand upon this, but Reg Info public notification. Basically, it's a notice to provide guidance. Notice for the DOW to provide guidance on this, but they're switching to Rev 3. There's some ITAR changes coming down the pipe. We already knew there would be changes, but all this is just a standard. There's a new sheriff in town. They just want to take stock of everything.
So you're going to be doing a session on next week, right? That's next week? Is that what it is?
Yes, I am.
All right, so July 21st, I just put that in there. I put in the executive orders. If folks want to see the executive orders, it's something that we're going to talk about in a minute. We use them on GovBrief all the time. And the CMMC session, if you want to do business with the Department of War, or if you don't want to change the name, the Department of Defense, and then you won't do business with the Department of War if you're not willing to change the name, right? Because that's the way I'm just kidding.
And under the FAR overhaul that Brian mentioned, there's also some of the same requirements coming to the entire executive branch. So if you haven't looked at that, I would suggest you do so. Basically, all the same controls that Defense Department contractors, War Department contractors, whatever you want to call them, have to abide by. Well, everybody that sells to the executive branch is going to have to. And in fact, there's going to be less loopholes.
Hey, Todd, just a question for you. Just AI, just the way it's, changed and everything you hear in the news just about every day, that must be really driving CMMC that much more, I would tend to think.
Well, the problem is that so much of it's not authorized, right? Because under CMMC and under actually other FAR and DFARS regulations, you have to save, the safeguarding of CUI. That's basically you have to have a FedRAMP instance. And so unless you're in AWS GovCloud or using, I would say Cloud for Government, but that's a whole separate thing. Apparently there's a new release.
Do not use
no more Cloud at all. But it's a changing field. And that's why it pays to have someone like us, that knows the space, is watching the space, keeping an eye on everything.
That is what we call a shameless plug for Todd. Todd's
we don't
his
do
own
that
shameless plug. I love it. So there you go, folks. If you want to do business in the DIB, the Defense Industrial Base, you're going to need CMMC. Not only that, you should be paying attention if you're doing business in civilian agencies, because it's coming to an agency near you.
Yep.
At least some of it, right, Todd?
Yeah. So right now there's no official plans for an audit for non-War Department branches or departments, but the writing's on the wall that it will come shortly.
I would agree. We've been talking about this for 2 years. So, all right, let's talk about this. Where are we right now? We're coming down the wire, folks. If you take a look here, this is as of 5/31. All this information came in. We did this as part of our report that we did as in the SAM.gov award tutorial. So I'm pulling this in. We are now in Q4. Everything that is in this box is what we're talking about right now of what's happening. This is one of my favorite graphs. It's very, very cool. It comes right from our stuff that we publish. A couple things that you want to know right here. The last 90 days is DOW or DOD awards, and those are lagging by 90 days because we don't want to broadcast to the rest of the world what our spending is all about. So, with this being Q4, this is what we can expect. It's going to look just like this as we're going through the next 2.5 months. Now we're down to 2.5 months. You can
Dave,
find
I love
this.
That. Back to that. I love that graph.
It's awesome, right?
Yeah, it's really, really good because that's kind of what I'm just seeing. And at least I'm not sure anybody else in any other agency. And I know you got DOD there. Is this DOD only?
No, this is all. This is all. What this is saying that the reason why this is so low is because we don't see the DOD numbers yet. After the DOD numbers, you know, because we do that with CPARs, right? We don't see them until
90 days. Yeah.
Yep. So this is the 90-day area, but I love this graphic. It's one of my faves.
Yeah, but I'm wondering once you put that DOD in, if it's going to be where it was before, because I thought the numbers would be lagging behind generally just because of some of the turmoil in the civilian agencies, outside of DOD.
Here. You see that? This is down at the lowest levels.
Yeah, down at the lowest. I thought it'd be below that, with some of the agencies in the civilian side, how they just riffed everybody, riffed. Yeah. Yep. I was on a HHS conference call with the head of acquisition there. It was just an industry day thing. And they literally riffed 1,000 of the 1,500 contracting people in the whole Department of Health and Human Services.
Do you hear that?
Two-thirds of all the contracting officers and contract specialists gone. And maybe that could even be Denise Grant's officers. I was shocked when I heard it. I knew it was a big number, but now I'm going in and I'm seeing saw two things recently where they're going in and they're they want acquisition support. They're looking for small businesses to help them figure out how to consolidate and buy things, number one. And then number two, just saw CDC's looking for AI tools to help them figure out how to buy smarter. So they fired everybody. And now here we're on. It's opportunity for industry, right?
And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what that means money for you and me, right, Brian? Now that you're on the dark side.
Yeah. I still don't like it, but
no, man, because these are people, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go. Year-to-date spending and who's winning. You can get this. Again, we update this every month on samradar.com/blog. It looks like this. All this data is provided by FPDS.gov, now SAM.gov awards, or SAM.gov. Two government systems. Brian and I know this stuff backwards and forwards. I like to do things by number of offers received. This is what blew my mind years ago, and I'm going to make sure that you guys understand what blew my mind. Take a look at this. If you just do not reported, what does that mean, Brian? Normally, almost all the time, that means what?
Well, not reported to me. I think it means one. And in most cases, it probably means one. So they figured out, well, why put it in there? If it's,
It's because contracting officers cannot reach up their hand and hit one. All right. So
stop picking on me. Stop picking.
I knew the day was young. You asked for it.
Yeah,
all right. So here's the deal. 80% of the contracts, 60% of the dollars, zero competition. This changed a lot since 2019. That was down in the 35 to 40% range. and now it is at 80%. And take a look at this. 5 or fewer, 89% of the contracts, 93% of the dollars are shortlisted. Thumbs up from everybody if this is where you want to be. If you don't put your thumb up, you can leave, because this is why we're here, in case you didn't know. This is why I love it. All right, so let's take a look at this. 144,000, about 145,000 hit SAM.gov as opportunities. Take a look at the difference between the number of opportunities that hit SAM.gov and the number of awards that hit FPDS.
Wow.
We're missing 6.7 million actions. How many of you are saying,
Dave, would you please repeat? Dave, would you please repeat that again? That is.
Yeah, you lost me on that one too. Yeah.
Come on, we're listening.
Yeah, forget Six Sigma.
So 145,000
Wow.
opportunities hit SAM.gov as an RFP or a solicitation. 6.8 million contract awards posted in FPDS. There's your difference. This little triangle, that's Greek.
For Delta.
Ralph, oh, look at that. Sally knows. Sally reads Greek like I do.
Yeah.
So today at 1, we're going to be talking about the frenzy that's happening right now, and we can get ahead of the RFP, the winnable opportunity matrix. I'm not going to review that all today, but we want to get ahead of those. We want to know about these, and we want to start to develop those hidden contracts. So let's talk about now. Here we're at about 3% hitting on SAM.gov. That number is going to go down to 2%. It happens every year. This is the delta right now. 3.3 million and change have not hit SAM.gov. If you look at how it's tracking, 78% of the dollars, 57% of the 78% of the contracts, 57% of the dollars, and 87% and 91% respectively dealing with 5 or fewer. So let me ask you this. Some of you people have been here before. Did you know about the hidden contracts? Did you know that 98% didn't hit? And some say yes, and they want some. Some say maybe I knew that there was something missing, but I didn't know 90%, but you want some. How about this? It's the first time you're hearing about it. And you want some too, because you're selfish just like everybody else that's here. I don't believe, Dave. Maybe that's what you'd say, but you still want some even if you don't believe me. So how you like that? So with that, I'm going to plug SAM Radar, which is transitioning to Fed 360. You can see that up on the upper right-hand side as we speak. You can find these reports on SAM Radar under the blog. So it's the last tab in the report. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but we're going to use some specifics from the winnable opportunity matrix. So I got a question for everybody here. If you're in front of a decision maker, if you can get in front of decision makers and you're meeting with decision makers, the result will be what? Put it in the chat. If you get yourself in front of decision makers, what happens? You win. A win-win. Shauna says a win. Debbie says an opportunity. Absolutely. Lorna, something's going to happen. I love it. Kimberly, you may win, right? You're putting yourself in position. Ray saying win. So a lot of folks, so I'm in sales. A lot of folks here are in sales, right, Rafa? We've been salespeople for a while. Yes. So we get in front of people, we can push things forward. We can pull things through the pipeline. Right? And I like that, Sally. I'm in a better place than I'm not in front of them. If you're not in front of them, let me ask you this. Who's in front of them if you're not in front of them?
My competition.
Ooh. That's right. Latasha, win with contract one-on-one. That's exactly right. We need to get in front of those folks. So these are the people we're talking about today. And specifically, we're talking about program people to start. And the program people are PMs, project managers, contracting officer representatives, administrators, higher level in the organization, and TEP and users. And then we're also talking about the contracting officers, 2 different sides of the house. Brian Hebel used to be a contracting officer. Now, Brian, if somebody came and told you how Wizmo their AI solutions were and the bits and bytes and everything that they were all rocking, they were so excited about this new technology that they had, and they're telling you how it's all operating and all the coding that they're doing, what would you say to them?
What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
You don't care about that, do you?
No. Yes and no.
You might like to hear about it, but there's one thing that you want from these folks, and that's what?
How can I get to, if the program manager wants to buy from you, how can I get to you quickly,
that's
efficiently,
exactly right.
Effectively, and no protest?
So did you hear that? Get to you, buy from you, no protest. Why no protest, Brian?
Because that's just going to time me up from doing other things that I want to get done.
That's exactly right. All right, let me see something. I just realized that Nikita might be here, and because I didn't have her, I want to make sure. Is she here? I don't see her. All right, so I'm going to plug her in a minute anyway. All right, so the hot seat question number 1 is, who are the program managers? Because Brian, a buyer who spends money, who has to spend the money, because we'll talk about that in a minute. But we're talking about the program managers because they're the ones that need to get the job done. So who are program managers and what do they need from you? And I'll talk with you first, Brian, because you talk about CPARs all the time, and I'll plug CPARs radar since you have it plugged right on your screen behind your head. So you know program managers. Now and you and I know several from the same agency that you're talking about, right? So what do program managers need from us?
Yeah. So I was sitting in a Panera Bread probably about 2013 before I wrote my book, and I had this guy, Ted Laren. I said, Ted, what are the 4 most important factors of winning a government contract? And when meeting with the government, and he said, don't meet with them unless you can help them save a problem or save money, or more importantly, solve a problem, save money, teach them about new technology or what's going on in industry. If you can't do that, or industry trends, if you can't do that, they don't want to meet with you. And I agree, they don't want to meet with you unless you could really particularly help them solve a problem. So if you have really, in terms of your capabilities, they would be interested in that, but just a little bit, only if that's going to lead you down the path of helping them solve a problem during that same discussion and meeting.
Cool.
And I've heard 2 senior leaders say on 2 different occasions they were so busy they had to schedule bathroom breaks, right? They had to schedule their bathroom breaks. But in the one case, the one senior would have their assistant, their administrative assistant, come in once the meeting started in 10 minutes. And if the person wasn't going to be helping them to solve a problem, they would say, the administrative assistant would say, well, you just got called to another meeting. And if they liked the contractor and what was the discussion was, they would say, oh, well, we'll just postpone it. But if the contractor wasn't helping them, they'd actually say, I got to go now. I'm sorry, I got something emergency I got to talk about.
How many of us have experienced that?
They kick the contractors out after 5 or 10 minutes if they weren't helping them.
So they want you to get to your information right up front. Rafael Marrero, you've helped a lot of people with capability statements, briefings, creating marketing materials. What is the pitch? If we know that the buyer is dealing with contract stuff, we're going to talk about that in a minute. What is most important to your program people, in your opinion?
For program people, they're looking for exactly what you as a contractor are going to, if you're going to be delivering on what they need in terms of program objectives. That's what they need, right? So they don't want to be bothered with transfer of ownership and acquiring like contracting officers do. They're concerned with, can you do the job? Can you accomplish the mission, deliver it on time according to the specs that I have? Because remember, program managers are the contracting officers' internal clients, right? They're the ones that breathe down the neck of contracting officers and say, where the heck are my program managers or my butts to get on the seats or whatever I'm buying this season to implement this program that the government agreed to roll out. right? So they lean on the contracting officer and say, where are my people? Where are my resources to do this, right? That's very important.
I love it. I love it. I agree with you entirely. So Sally White, now you're in the sales side of things. You're helping folks do business development, getting in front of these folks. You'll do industry days. You'll do conferences. You'll assist in that. Give us an idea where you're headed and what you're looking for and what you're trying to achieve at conferences, because I think that will dovetail into finding these decision makers, don't you think?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Conferences are very important, whether you're there live, which is always great, or whether you're there virtually, or even if you can't go, but you want to link in with people who are there. The best way to be effective at conferences or any of these areas when we link with people is to show that we know what their needs are. The best way to show what their needs are is through intelligence. So before I go to conferences, before I connect with someone who's going to assist one of my clients and getting decision makers, influencers, and close contracts, I have a consultation with Dave and Rob, and they provide me a spreadsheet so that I can see exactly what my clients are selling in their NACE codes, their competitors, what primes are buying. So I have that intelligence, because when I sit down in a matchmaking or I see a program manager, which I see at conferences, or decision makers or a 3-star or any of those individuals we want to get to from a relationship perspective, they are impressed when I say, wow, I see that you just closed a contract with blank and it looks really great. I have a client, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They love when you come in knowledgeable and intelligent. And so
I love it. So they're at the conferences. They're literally there to find answers to their problems, right? And Brian mentioned it. And I love what you said, Raphael, about program initiatives, and you get to be able to hear some of those things. At one of the conferences that I went to, this was back in Atlanta at the NVSPE show, I sat down, and right next to me said Tom Murphy. He was the deputy undersecretary for veteran benefits. And he said, I need this, this, and this. And everybody in the room was like, okay, just sitting there. I'm like, I wrote on my card, I was like, I can help you. I can help you with that. And he said, okay, you, and it was me and Lockheed Martin had a meeting on the spot.
Wow.
With these guys. So that's where we can find these senior people as well as project managers and program managers. Now, Denise B. Lawrence, she helps people with writing for grants. We're going to talk about grants in a minute. In fact, I can pop that up. But you also help with writing RFPs, right?
That's right.
And the RFPs, the scope of work and all the things that need to be done in an RFP, that's coming from the program side of the house, not coming from contracting officers. So when you're writing an RFP, and you also do grants, which happens on the program side of the house. And just as a quick plug, July 28th, Denise B. Lawrence will be presenting on for-profit grants. That is not alone, ladies and gentlemen. That right there is free money. So go ahead, Denise. Tell us about what project managers need from the folks.
Well, one good kind of interesting thing is typically by fourth quarter of the federal government, grants are winding down. But instead, we are winding up because grants were on hold for the first 6 months of the fiscal year. So it's crazy times. And even so, of the 11 main agencies that do for-profit grants, only 4 of them have active open opportunities. The Department of War, by the way, has about 75 open grant opportunities right now. And so it's a crazy busy time, which means it's going to keep being busy because we still got 7 other agencies that's got to hit the table. NIH just came out, now we know why, thanks, Brian, with their grants, a handful compared to what normally happens. But on the proposal side, if you've been doing what you're supposed to do and you've been listening for the last, 8 months or so, you are in position now for completing RFPs in, really rapid time. September is not the time to wait to have that put together. You need to understand what the scope of work, that our program officers are looking for. They put that information out. They've been forecasting some of this information, so it's available, and you need to be prepared for those 3 a.m. on Sunday morning opportunities to submit.
Ooh, that's truth too. So one of the things I would say is when we have what's coming down in Q4, especially right now, it's super compressed because of, as Brian mentioned, they have shed a ton of their resources. They've also been backed up by shutdowns and budget, having the budget being behind, operating under continuing resolution. I will be talking about what most of the time. What happened there? Most of the time, I'm always talking about building relationships, even up to August. But when we get into September, and as we're in Q4, there's a lot more happening on sam.gov. It's also a great place to be able to identify buyers, which we'll get to in just a minute. So let me ask a question. Who is struggling to get their message to the program side of the decision makers? I'm talking about these people here. Contracting officers, we'll talk about in a minute. Who is struggling with that? Or even better, who is not? And I want to pop this up real quick to say, who do you want to reach? And is it looking at the winnable opportunity matrix? We have contracting officers, PMs, COTARs. Woo, that's not right. It's core. Whoever spelled that is a poor speller. I won't say who that is. That would be me.
I don't have any problems. I'm Elon Musk.
That's right. At least it's not two to the left. All right. So anyway, so then we have administrators. So there's different reasons to get to these people, but all of these people are touching the money. All of these people are involved in some form or fashion. And Brian, you actually do a technical evaluation panel review. So that when you're doing an RFP and you're responding to an RFP, you're writing to the evaluation criteria, right? How important is that?
Yep. Strengths matter.
Yep.
And win themes don't matter. That's what I always like to hear. Nobody on inside government knows what a win theme is.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Nobody in the government cares about win themes. Now,
never heard of the word before. They don't even know what the word. Never heard of the word. I haven't found the core yet that knows what a win theme is.
All right, so I didn't even know that you guys didn't know what that was, and I've known you for a while now. So and when it comes to this, I've always found that if you have the relationship,
hey, Brian,
somebody can argue with me.
NAICS codes and win themes. Okay.
Yeah, Brian doesn't care about NAICS codes or win themes. So
right.
Note to
self.
Two things that everybody has been preached to by the SBA for so long. All right, so here we go. Now here's the thing. The reason why I'm excited, and I got a little, I showed some of this off yesterday at the Monday roundtables that are part of Fed 360 and Sam Radar and GovBrief. I want to ask you something. So. First of all, with this, and I'm saying, okay, you want to reach everybody here, the 78% so far are saying you want to reach program people. So my question is, how many program people do you know of? In other words, who do you know that's on the program that's doing business that you want? Who do you know on the program side for that? And then secondarily, so who do you know of, and then who knows you? Those are two separate things. So one, we got to know who they are in order to be able to get to them so that they can know who we are. And then how many of them say, oh, Rafa, you are the dog when it comes to this stuff, right? So how many people see you as the subject matter expert in your field? And yes, I'm leading a direction because this past week, last Thursday, and this Thursday are absolutely incredible days in just proving how you can do this. So how many see you as a subject matter expert? So this is your own little thing. Write this down. How many do you know? How many people know about you? How many see you as a subject matter expert? And then finally, how many of these people have told you some sort of insider information about an upcoming requirement that is not posted anywhere else, like on sam.gov. So that's your own tabulation, right? So now, let me ask you this, and Rob Lundholm, I think he's here. He can give us an update on this because I haven't looked at the numbers yet. Imagine you have 1 hour in front of 12 different agencies. Some of us have spoken at an industry day, right? Right, Sally? Or you have been at a conference where you were at a breakout session, right? And you get on stage and you have 12 different agencies with 66 different government program decision makers or influencers. So we're talking about some of these people here or these people here. They could be any one of those people. 6 have told us that they have an immediate need. This is before we even have the session. 6 say that's coming in Q4. That's 12 within the next less than 90 days, right? 85 days, 75 days, 75 days. 4 in Q1 of 2027 and 2 in Q2. We're already building our pipeline, and we've already identified 18 potential opportunities that aren't showing up anywhere yet. One of those might be on a forecast somewhere. So here's what I want to say. We're not talking about the small business liaisons or those folks. We're talking about these people being on the program side. There's one contracting officer that's there, and there's so far, this is where we are. Rob, are you still here?
I'm here.
All right. How many are we up to on this number here instead of 66?
We are at 96, and the most recent of which is Director of Nuclear Supply Chain Management. Director.
We have director. So maintain, and what we're talking about here is maintaining quality fuel supply and long-term storage tanks. Are you kidding me? We have 96 people that are coming that have registered for the event. We don't know how many are going to show up, but we know that these numbers are wrong. That's now 96, you said?
96 as 96. Of right now.
So change 96. And who's going to see Steve as a subject matter expert in his field? Whoever shows up on Thursday. And I'm going to show you one that happened last week. But right now we have 18 so far, and I bet that's blown up. I bet that's probably almost 30 now. Is Steve getting into the green? Our job is to get into the green. Is Steve getting into the green? Is he being known by people? Is he finding out about people that's in his market? The answer is what? Thumbs up if you think the answer is yes. Is Steve getting into the green? Pressing into the market. He's drawing people out that care about fuel quality in long-term storage tanks. I don't know about you, but I wasn't thinking about that until I talked to Steve. So now, here's why I'm excited. And here's what is so important for everybody here today to understand is if you can get your message and your message is hot and you get your message to the key people on the program side, they will come to you. 63 different agencies. Is this a hot topic? Watch this. Artificial intelligence risk management in federal agencies. Think that's a hot topic? 505 registered, 342 attended. Expected requirements, 75 right now, 59 in Q4, 38 in Q1, and 14 in Q2. 19 requested a meeting with the presenters during the session. I've been to conferences that didn't have 342 government attendees.
That's pretty impressive, Dave.
It's
see that number.
Mind-blowing. Wow.
So let me say this. So this is what really blew my mind. And I've been doing this since 2012, by the way. GovBrief since 2012. Take a look at the people that came. I put them in green, the ones that are like senior people. But we have a PM right here, and I'm not even counting the PMs. I'm counting the senior people, not even the senior IV and V. But we're talking about acting CISO, CIO, division chief, AI architect, chief, information security officer, deputy director, director. These are not the same. They're different people. Director, deputy director again, CISO, deputy director, CIO, acting director.
You got any contracting people in there?
I don't know. I wasn't looking for contracting officers.
I'm not seeing any. My point is, the contracting people aren't worried about that. You know, they'd rather be eating the ice cream, where these guys are worried about the problems. You know?
That's right. These are the people with the problems. Acting director, CIO, chief data officer, chief, CISO, CTO. I love that one. Deputy CIO and assistant director. These are on your winnable opportunity matrix as the higher level people in the admin side. If they are trying to solve a problem, they're going to drive that down on top of a project manager and say, solve my freaking problem. So that's what I wanted to show you. These are the people that we're talking about right there, the admins. But all those people were getting into the green. It all happened in 1 hour. 1 hour is what I'm talking about. So we talked about who they are. They are the people that are responsible for solving the problem. My question is, thumbs up if you think that Matt is in the green. He's getting in the green. Did GovBrief do its job in driving these people to Matt to say, hey, they're qualifying them? You're saying, hey, look what everybody said. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to share this results out. We didn't know who they were until, look at that. My problem is I don't know who they are. 59%. We didn't know who they are. We put it out and said, who cares about this topic? And now we know who they are. And we got phone numbers and email addresses. And now we've already started to engage them. And we do know what they need because they came to something that is important to you. I don't care whether you're doing fuel, AI, facilities, it doesn't matter. Because there's a group of people that are buying and need what you have, that need to solve the problem. They need to understand and align with the program initiatives, the executive orders that are coming down the pipe, and we need to understand what their needs are, and then we can work with them one-on-one to start solving those needs.
And you did have some COs on there, I just noticed. You did have COs.
There's probably a couple. Because now let me ask you this, Brian. Why would you show up if you were a contracting officer to something like that? Why would you show up?
Yeah, I guess some contracting officers are more involved in the program than others. I would think it might be some people that are, a little bit more active in trying to just using some business acumen skills to try to figure what's going on out there.
Could be.
Or they don't have anything better to do, that they're not a really good employee.
So they don't have anything better to do. That could be one. That's be rare right now. Two is they could be like on the progressive side to go get it, or they got a piece of paper on their desk that says.
That can be.
Yeah. I need to.
Right, you're right.
This is about, right? So here's what I want to say. Stop struggling and start getting into the green. What do I mean by that? I mean by, hey, small business liaisons absolutely can use. In fact, once you know who these people are, you can go to the SBA people and say, get me a meeting with those folks if you're having problems getting to those people. I'd absolutely use those. But I'm not talking about reaching out to those. I'm talking about the people that actually are either touching the money or have influence on the process. It includes the contracting officers, because every once in a while they show up. And my experience is, if they're showing up to something like that, they got something on their desk that's hot, or they feel like they're supposed to be there for some reason. So what I'm saying is, we will make you look good. We'll make you look marvelous.
Right.
Brad Pittish, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So building relationships with these people using GovBrief happens every day. The next available date is August 19th. And we are running this through September, because last year we had 60 people show up, program people in September, Brian. In September. Now, the funny thing is, most of the program people are doing their planning and planning prep. That happened 9 months ago, or should have, right, Brian? If the government was open, right? All right, so that's how we can get to the project managers. So if you filled out anything there, I want you to know reach out. Rob, do me a favor, put your information in there so they can reach out to you to schedule a meeting to talk about GovBrief. All right, hot seat question number 2. We got to get to it quick. Who are the contracting officers and what do they need from you? Now, Brian, we already set that up. I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask you, since you were one, what do contracting officers need from folks like us?
32 years of my 34-year career as a contracting officer. So I'm with just about all but one is unlimited warrant. But with that said, just how can I get to you quickly? And and you really need to know how they buy, because if I haven't used a vehicle that you have, I probably don't know how it works. So you kind of need to educate them on it. And Raphael's agreeing with that one.
I love that.
100%, Dave. Listen, if I'm Brian and I can't do business with a candidate that's just presented their credentials to me, then what good are they? It's swipe and laugh. Next one on the list. Seriously, that's the way it works. You have to. If you don't meet the spec, if you're not procurement and contract ready, I can't do business with you. It's that simple.
Yeah. So I love what you said. Get to you quickly, which means, hey, how do I buy from you? And
how do I get to you?
How do I get to you?
How do I get to you?
How do you get to you? And then if you don't know what that is, then you got to educate them on that, because there's over 25,000 BPAs and IDIQs out there. What are the chances that they know yours? Now, they may know soup. If you're on soup, they probably know about that one, right? So
I never bought anything on soup.
There you go. That's a rarity that you can find from people.
Well, it depends on what the agency is using, Dave, right? I mean, it really depends, right? Every contracting officer has its own set of preferences or whatever.
Right.
Right. And that gets down to it. I love that question. If I'm talking to a contracting officer, instead of telling them about me and what I got, if they don't ask me right out of the gate,
it's all about
what Brian said is, how do I get to you? I want to say, hey, Brian, what's your favorite procurement vehicle? In which case you would say,
Baskin Robbins.
CSI. Well, actually, it used to be 8A sole source. Right? Used to be the best, but that's kind of gone away.
Yep. So there you go, folks. What I love about that is it tells us what we need. If we just ask a simple question about their world, because a lot of times we want to go in and tell them everything that we do and the 16,432 things on our capability statement and the 54 bullet points that we have called out. They say, could you pick one of those? That's not how it works. If we get there, and that's why your capability statement shouldn't have that much crap on it, right, Rafa?
Oh, without a doubt. And Dave, now that you're on that, especially with AI, people think that they're the New York Times, all the news that's fit to print and 8.5 by 11. They make these incredible, stupid-looking infographics that nobody can follow, right? I mean, please do yourself a favor. Do not do that, right? Take the time to curate something that someone like Brian will actually enjoy and say, okay, I get it. I can use this guy. That's the way to do business.
I agree.
Rob, it's really interesting. When I look at SAM.gov and I look at what contractors' description are in SAM.gov, I'm surprised how many of them are really, really bad. You know,
they're horrible.
That don't really listen to what they do.
Yeah. They really are. I mean, that capabilities narrative at the beginning, it's gobbledygook, right? It makes no sense. It does not really talk about what you are, what you offer, and what you can do for buyers or partners.
Yeah.
So let me ask you font.
Go ahead, Denise. I do want to get.
No, I said a 9-point font on top of that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. You need a microscope for it. All right. So who's struggling to get their message to contracting officers? Just about everybody is. Take a look at your winnable opportunity matrix and look at this spot right here where you want to monitor the activity. You're going to see lots of changes that are happening out there, on both sides, awards and on opportunities. And then get out in front of them, because they need to know who you are. Because you might know who they are, but they need to know who you are. You can use SAM Radar to do that and watch those changes and use it to get to those key decision makers. Relationships, I don't care. I don't care what it is. If I have a relationship with Brian and Brian likes me, he's going to figure out a way to buy from me. And then you can get your fingerprints influence the scope of work, get your on that customer short list, which is where we want to be. And then once you're there, you want to protect your contract so that nobody else can come and steal it. So I want to get us out of here. I want to ask the folks, if you need some help, we heard some great advice about making sure that you're helping them solve problems, making sure that you're looking at your program folks, and making sure that you're getting and understanding the initiatives, understanding their needs. Again, it's all about them. If you need help, pick one of those and we'll make sure that you get the help that you need, or multiple ones of those. You can pick as many as you want, and make sure that you're getting out in front of these folks. So what do you want to do now is you want to watch all the contract activity, identify the buyers in your space. At the very least, this is what you can do every day, and use that information. That information that they're touching with buyers is very, very important to them. And if you say, hey, Brian, you awarded this to ABC company yesterday, I'd like to chat with you about that. Brian's going to say, that is relevant to me because I just awarded it to him yesterday. So that becomes what part of our process. No matter what you're doing, put resources into your marketing efforts. That means time, that means dollars, and that means making sure you know the path that you want to take in order to get there, and make sure you stay at it, because if you give up, your competitors are going to win. And your competitors want you to stop. They want you to give up. So we have a couple new sessions that are coming up today. I'm doing the SAM.gov opportunity tutorial. Let me grab that information for everybody so that you can get to that. Give me 1 second. I will find it. I promise, because I put it on here.
So you put your information.
Yep. And make sure everybody who wants to communicate with everybody can put your information in there. Let's see. Here, there's the SAM.gov. In here. That's the session for today. And tomorrow, we have a big issue, which is the SBA redefining the eligibility requirements, and there's $44 billion in recompetes that are no longer secured by SBA in the 8A program. And we have this, as Todd said, this is still in the solicitation. So what does that mean? That means that they're still going to require CMMC, and it's still going to be coming. They may do some delays. I think they're going to do some grants, actually. Denise B. Lawrence. Before we get to the grants, I want to talk about grants in just a minute. I'm going to show off. She didn't come today, but 52% of bid and award protests succeed. Should that be part of your program, of your thought process? Should that be part of your process? I think so. And then we have for-profit grants, which could include grants. We've seen this starting to come for CMMC as well, right, Denise?
Yep, we have.
So we're going to be talking about that July 28th. I love this session, and Denise does a great job in pulling it out. I don't know who this knucklehead is again on July 30th, but he's talking about the 98% that don't hit on SAM.gov and how you can find it in the award search. And I'm also talking about doing business with the VA. I haven't done this one in a while, but I'm doing it because all of the VA's work needs to be done by 9/15. September 15th instead of September 30th. And with that, I want to thank Rafael Marrero and company for being here. Thank you, the good doctor, Colonel. And we have Sally White, who helps with people with trade shows. She's got the Hub Zone Conference coming up. Reach out to her if you need some support. Todd Crane is going to be talking on the 21st, helping us out with his CMMC language. Denise B. Lawrence with for-profit grants. She'll be up there on GovBrief on July 28th. Nikita Van Kirk talking about those bid and award protests. I love this, by the way. And she's done it. Do it yourself, by the way. She's not a lawyer. She's done them, and she's won them. So
she plays one at a local bar, though. She's pretty good.
She is. She's awesome. She's firecracker. And we have my good friend, Brian Hebel. Don't let him hear me say he's my good friend, because then he won't let me bust on him anymore. That's tomorrow, July 15th for that. And we will see you next, either today or next month. So please feel free to join us. Kimberly, you're welcome, and you're welcome. Latasha and Debbie, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys, and we get you out of here. I'm 1 minute late, but I did what I could. I think there's a lot of information today. Thanks, guys. You're welcome, Shauna. All right, guys. Thank you very much.